Good afternoon, travelers. Today we're going to talk about another subject in the project that I'm calling Newmad 101. And we're going to talk about emergency funds and why it's absolutely necessary that you have one. In this video, we had a mechanical breakdown, which we'll show you here in just a little bitty minute. And before we get into that, let me tell you what I have as my arsenal for emergency preparedness. Number one, I have roadside assistance. Very important little item. Roadside assistance is just one of the things that I have. The other thing that I have is tools in case I need them. I have a little bit of mechanical know-how. And there's always YouTube University if you're really in a pinch. The other thing I have is a good working cell service, and I have two service providers. The main one that I have is T-Mobile, which is for older folks 55 and over, so that's $55 a month for unlimited everything. And then I have a second carrier, and it's called Visible, and that's $25 a month, and that's a Verizon phone. So I have two different companies that I can rely on if I get in areas where there's no signal. And signal is a very important thing being a nomad. If you're traveling by yourself or even with a group, usually if you're with a group, somebody's got a cell service that's going to work. If you're by yourself and you only have one cell service, you could be in a pinch. That's why I have two. The other thing that I have is an emergency fund, finances to take care of my emergencies. Now, in this video, it was something mechanical that should have never happened, could happen to anyone, and did happen to us. And right now, I'm going to show you what happened. Come right along, and we're going to go right there.
Anyway, we're in Quark.
Well, this is what happens. When your wheel falls off.
I was talking. We was on the phone, and all of a sudden I heard that we got off.
And this is the other thing what happens when your wheel falls off. You end up in the middle of the road with a problem. We just lost our rear axle on VINNY. The entire rear axle busted. And I'll take you over here and show you what I'm talking about. This is a solid piece of metal that's just sheared off. My friend Bob come by with his pickup, and he's going to help us tow out back, and then a tow truck's coming to pick up VINNY. Have no idea how this is all going to work out. Have no idea at all. Oh, police are at the corner. They haven't been here yet. Oh, and this mechanic shop that I'm right in front of, they're closed on Mondays. They're not even open today, which is really a pain in the neck because it probably could have worked. Yeah, it probably could have. That was close. Shit. We're sitting on what's left of the brake. That come out. Let me brake forward. Oh, we have kind of a mess. Anyway, down the street before I get dead. There's now a police officer assisting us with traffic. Yeah. Like you just saw, this is when everything goes south. The rear axle fell off as I was making a turn in Parker heading back towards Quartzsite area. Or what happened was that there is a bolt that is supposed to be on my axle, and it's called a nylock system, and that nylock system failed. And those bolts need to be replaced on these Dodges every time they come off, and those bolts cost around $40 each to replace. If they're not replaced, they don't lock on like they're supposed to. And my wheel actually worked its way off, came out as I made the turn, and then with the weight of the van, it came down crashing on the axle and broke it in half. Now, what I mean by going south is roadside assistance. I had called roadside assistance before I did the walk around of the van when my friend Bob had showed up, and I have roadside assistance with Progressive. Progressive had called a company, and I assumed that they were on their way. But before the company sent their driver out, they gave me a call to make sure that they were bringing the right equipment for what I had. And they weren't. So I let them know that I was driving an RV, a Class B motorhome weighing about 9,000 pounds, and they could not bring the equipment that they had thought they were going to bring. Therefore, they declined the tow. And that can happen when you have roadside assistance. Your tow companies can deny to come and pick your tow up, pick your vehicle up. So that means Progressive has to call somebody else. So they made several calls, and they called a company that was local, and that particular company told them that they wanted to be paid directly with a credit card, and Progressive denied that because they normally pay what they use is called a PO system. Well, therefore, they had to call some other tow companies. So while they're making all these phone calls to different tow companies, a sheriff shows up, and a sheriff calls a tow company. So the tow company comes out to pick up my van, and I stop them and say, "What are you doing? Who called you?" They said, "The sheriff called us, and we have to get your vehicle out of the street." I was not amused because I knew I didn't have the money for the tow. I thought they were going to pick me up and take me all the way to Quartzsite. The reason I was going to Quartzsite is because I had called my mechanic in Quartzsite, and they are willing to fix my vehicle, whereas the mechanics in Parker wouldn't touch it. They wouldn't even bring it into their shop. So I was forced to take my vehicle all the way to Quartzsite, and I knew I would not be able to afford that tow price. Well, so long story short, the tow company that picked me up was going to charge me to go to their yard, and I didn't have the money to pay for it. So then they said that they were going to put it in their tow yard. And I said, "No, don't put it in your yard. Just take it over there, and I'll talk to you when I get there." See, I know that once your vehicle enters a wrecking yard, the costs start mounting immediately. That amount every day until I get it out. That adds up really super fast. The tow was $200 for just to go around the block. So I told him, "Okay, I'll pay for that, but I got to get a hold of Progressive, and you've got the equipment, so can we leave the van on the truck until I get a hold of Progressive?" He says, "We'll leave it there." He said, "If I need the truck, I'm going to have to drop it." Okay, fine. Well, later that afternoon, because this took all day, closer to 5 o'clock, they had to drop my truck because they were going to need to go and get another vehicle. So they put mine down on the sand off of their property because I asked them to do that. It was off their property. So shortly after that, Progressive came through and went ahead and paid them with the credit card that they were requesting, and they put my van back on the truck. And in the process, they damaged the wheel further, and they damaged the carrier where my generator goes. They also damaged my refrigerator because the guy took the corners too fast and busted a chain, and the refrigerator fell over. When he got to Quartzsite and he was offloading my van, he dug the bumper into the dirt and dug my wheel again and ground it flat, which cost me some money to get that fixed at the time of the repair. So what I'm trying to tell you here is this: if I didn't have emergency money to give that guy that $200, my house would have been in hock, and it would have been in hock for a very long time because I didn't have the cash to get it out. And I get paid once a month. Do you know how fast a tow bill can add up if you can't get it out for an entire month? We'd have lost our home. We'd have lost our home completely. The moral of this story is you've got to have emergency money in case of these situations. If I did not have $200 in cash on me, I would have lost my house. Okay, now I don't like the whole in cash part, but down here in Quartzsite and Parker, you've got to have some cash with you. And if I didn't have that much, which was all I had, I'd have lost my home. The next thing was taking it to the mechanic. I'm expecting $1,000 repair to get that axle fixed. Fortunately, I have a very good and honest mechanic, and I will put in a different video what he did and how he fixed my van and the pitfalls of owning a irregular vehicle that has specialized parts. Anyway, it wasn't $1,000. It was only $580, and that was like a total blessing for that. Anyway, you have to have emergency money with you when you travel. Otherwise, you need to sit. I'm sorry, but you need to sit. The good thing about Quartzsite, it gives you 7 months. You can pay $180, park, and sit for 7 solid months in the desert, in your van, in your RV, and save your monthly money and put back and make an emergency funding. Therefore, when it gets too hot down there, you have an emergency stash, and then you can leave and continue to live off your monthly income. Now, when I say an emergency stash, that stuff's not ever touched unless it's a breakdown. If I have to have a repair on my vehicle, I try to use what I have in my monthly income. If I have a breakdown, that's when that emergency money comes in. It's not for just run-of-the-mill, go buy some tires or go get a battery or whatever. You save up different for that. This is a fund separate from anything else. Now, that money also I can use for emergency veterinarian bills for the dogs. Other than that, that money is not touched. It's not touched ever. So this is for you people, Newmads on the road, or even you older people out on the road. I've met several people that have Class A's, Class B's, C's, and they have zero emergency fund. They may have a credit card. Okay, cool. You got a credit card? That works too. However, now you're paying somebody to handle your money, and you're paying interest on it. Hey, a long time ago, I decided I'm not paying anybody to manage my money anymore. I'll manage my own money. I'll take care of my own affairs. Then I don't have to pay them interest, and I own the money. They don't own me. So have an emergency fund. Keep yourself from losing your home. Keep yourself from having issues out on the road. And if you don't have an emergency fund, sit and save your money. Now, for a van or a build out that you've made yourself, I would say the standard repair is going to be about $1,000. For a Class C or a Class B that's been manufactured in the factories, you're looking at $2,000 up to $5,000 per repair. And if you own a Class A, it goes up from there. My good friend Ed over on Newmad Ranch says that for a Class A motorhome, you can go anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 in repairs in a big hurry. Save some money for your repairs. Save some money. That's all I got to say. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this video. And as I always tell you, follow your heart, embrace your dreams, and cherish your life. And get out there and do something fun today. And we'll see you next time on Traveling with the Gramkracker. So let's leave you with some puppy love. Okie doke. Hey, Jakey Butt. Come say hi for the camera. Come on. Come on. Oh, no? Hi, Corky, Corky. Say hi. Tell everybody hi. Arf, arf, arf. Can you speak? We're going to go get Jake. Corky, Corky. Can you speak? Squeak that toy. Squeak that toy. Jakey, bye. Jake. Jake. This is my handsome. Say hi, Jake. Say hi, Jake. Say hello. We're glad you came and followed with us today, and we're glad you visited with us today. Okay, doke? All right. We'll see you all another time. Bye-bye.